Hello everybody, welcome back to the Modern Divinity Podcast. Today you're joining us for episode 3 out of 3. In the first episode we covered religion and its history, how it was brought about, and we also, Max and I, spoke about our current stance on religion. The second episode we delved deep into politics, especially, well really only UK politics, and on that episode we brought a very special guest along. He's making a return, and I'm going to also still be with Mr. Cole once more. Hello guys, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
Amazing.
Amazing to hear. Getting into today's episode, we are going to be talking about religion, history and power, and that is all going to add up to create how beliefs shape society. So, starting off, the first talking point that I'm going to be looking at is religion's role in shaping moral codes in communities. The first research point that we have here, which was delicately crafted through intensive research, is the relationship between religion and morality has been widely debated. Questions have been asked such as, does religion make us more moral? Is morality necessary? Do moral tendencies emerge independently from religious intuitions? These debatable questions have arisen and made many people question the true form of religion and how it is being taught throughout the Bible. That is going to lead us on to our first talking point. So, anything come to mind? If you got anything to start us off with that.
Well, we may as well answer those questions that you just listed. Get
Wonderful.
debated about morality. As you said, the first question was, does religion make us more moral? What do you think, Cammy?
Does religion make us more moral? I'm of the belief that doesn't matter what title you are, whatever. If you're a good person, then you have good morals. I don't think religion should matter what morals you hold, as long as you hold good morals.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar?
This is an interesting one. So myself, I'm coming from a Christian perspective. I'm a young lad. I haven't done extensive studies or anything, so I'm sorry if I don't represent Christianity to the best that it can be. But thinking about the question, what was it? Question I've been asked such as, does religion make us more moral? Everybody has got morals, and so no matter what your beliefs are, you recognise your morals. And so the foundation here is that we all have our morals, we all are aware of our morals. But does it make us more moral, which I'm assuming is, does it make us better people? Is religion going to make us good people? Can it turn a bad person into being a good person? And it can. Is it the only way? Can somebody only become polite and respectful through religion? No, that doesn't have to be the case. But does religion make us more moral? Yeah, it can. If you have somebody that has the religion, their holy book, or whatever their beliefs are, depending on the religion, of course, but for at least the Abrahamic religions, yeah, it does make you more moral.
So do you believe that if a bad person started following a faith, is it them working on themselves to become a better person by following what that faith says to do, or do you think it's the faith themselves that's making them better and more moral?
Well, if somebody is not happy with the way they are and they're very sinful and they go to a religion, whatever they follow is going to tell them what to do to be a better person. And how that is executed comes down to what the religion is. But at the most basic level, I think that if somebody goes to religion, what does religion say? And that is telling them, this is how we're going to be good. And I think, at least in the most popular religions, I think it's all pretty good standards that are set. I don't know. I mean, there's controversial things, but it's all pretty much love people, I think. That's what it comes down to.
Okay. Yeah, that's the general message. You know, be kind to your peers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some of the other questions that Oscar brought up was, is morality necessary?
Yeah. Well, I think it is, isn't it? I think everybody needs to be moral and they need to do the right thing that their conscience tells them to do in every circumstance, and not just, oh, you know, I've been a good person this week. Let's just do something a bit evil. How evil? I'm mega-minding it.
He's mega-minding it.
If people are being good for the whole week, they can't just give up on the weekend. It's necessary, and it's necessary 25A.
Active.
Active.
I guess then comes down to, I guess there's different types of morality. So,
If we want to get into debating, morality as a whole, we could get a whole other episode out on that. I think I'll
Alright,
just skip this part and
Okay.
quickly get the final question here that we'll say. With do moral tendencies emerge independently? From religion?
Whoa, you want to use when I get started?
Would you like to start on that? Since I've just cut you
what
off.
was
on that
your-
one?
no, what was your question?
It was so do moral tendencies. So what does your morality emerge independently from your religion? So could you grow up a Catholic and have moral views that don't line up with that? And maybe you think
Yes.
murder's good when the Ten Commandments are don't murder people. So it's like, or maybe you grow up without a religion and you make up your own moral code. You decide murdering people's bad on your own.
Moral code. I think that definitely can be the case. So basically, what you're saying is you can grow up a Christian, but you don't.
That's what the
align.
question's asking you.
Right.
Do you believe
Okay. Do I believe that is a thing, or what exactly?
that? Well, that's just the question. Do you believe that can happen? That
Yeah.
morality
Yes.
can come away from religion? What do you believe?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's true, isn't it? It's just because you get brought up in the church or whatever. I have a real problem with Catholic schools. They don't do their job. I mean, they brand themselves a Catholic school, but people come out of it not knowing anything more than they did when they went into it. And so by all means, you can be raised in a Catholic school or go to any church, doesn't need to be even a Catholic church, and that doesn't guarantee you being moral or even sticking to the faith.
Well, that's what I was. As you were speaking there, I was thinking as well. A lot of people, I think, abuse their kind of title or background for being quote unquote a Catholic.
Yeah, it's that comes with a lot of problems. Well, that causes a lot of problems for Christianity and all religions. And even if you're part of any group, that's how stereotyping comes about. Is that some people go by this label, do things maybe in the name of that label, and it's just not what the actual thing promotes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a real problem. So yeah, people can stray away, but also stay in, but not really stay in.
Yeah. They're saying they're part of the club, but
Yeah, but they're not.
dedicated.
They're not. Shall we move on? You got anything
There's another section to the moral
Yeah.
codes in communities. Do you look to what your ancestors had believed, and as the new modern era has changed perspectives of religion in many young minds, do you look back to how people used to follow the same religion you do, and maybe they were making choices differently to you would, and how you interpret your holy scripture?
Wow, so looking back to the history of Christianity, for me, you're asking just my thoughts on it, on how people used to act, or like.
I can read the full question again if you'd like. This view relating to what we were just talking about, this view made many communities question their ancestors' beliefs, as a new modern era has changed perception of religion in many young minds.
Okay. So, I mean, looking back on the history of Christianity for myself, there's been many mistakes. Has that? And I think that's came with new knowledge or just better understanding. It's the fundamentals, I think, have always been the same, but people approach it differently, and there's not always something wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, there's been problems, but I think nowadays, with whatever modern society is shown within the Christian space, it's not really. If anything, we value the people that have gone before us. We look to them for knowledge, a bit of help, a bit of guidance. And I don't think things have changed. I mean, things have changed a lot in Christianity over the years, but the core of it is still kind of the same.
Okay, you'd like that?
I just want to say I think there's definitely been a decline in the belief of Christianity. I mean, religion as a whole, to be honest. But again, I don't want to get into the politics side of things, but I do think that massively influences people kind of being deterred away from religion. So I'm thinking, well, it's not really the best political and economical state we're in right now.
It's not. It's
You know,
certainly.
You
It's
need to be
changed.
talking about the political and
Yes,
economic state.
got
of the
to be
world.
talking
world.
about it.
So as this is still a political podcast, we will get a little bit into politics, which Cammy might not like, as he's just stated.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the post-war consensus from 1945 to 1979. For a while, the Labour and Conservative parties had a sense of nationality and to unify and to build up a more just society. Make sure people have lots of jobs, making more money, make sure that their people are happy after everything that everyone had went through during the Second World War. I figured we'd just talk on that, as religion would have made a big move in it. You're not meant to murder people, and the government had been sending people out to kill each other. So I guess you just wanted to...
Well, yeah, of course, that was massively influenced by the Second World War and the atrocities under the Nazi Party, you know, especially within the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were exterminated along
And
with...
I believe religion was a big topical point for the Nuremberg trials as well.
Yep.
A lot of them turned to, but this other person done this above me, and and then would turn to religion and stuff. So religion was also a big debate during these times, which definitely led to the post-war consensus.
Of course.
Let's just get ourselves good.
Well, yeah, I mean, a few years after the Second World War, you know, you had conventions like the ECHR, you know, European Court of Human Rights. That is, as it says, it is meant to protect your rights from atrocities like the Holocaust or, you know, anything like that. And I guess that is a lot to do with, you know, let's not kill people, let's not get into any wars. Even though you had the Korean War in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean...
but that was the US.
It said it ended in 79. When was Vietnam?
The 60s.
So,
again, that was the US though. So
that was just the US, but... so.
Wonderfully said by you. I've got nothing to add to that.
okay.
Well, thank you very much for that valuable insight into history and with the religious twang, the politics twang. Going further into that connection between religion and history, history records the consequences of religious beliefs in societies from law to education. Some scholars have claimed that higher levels of religious observance and engagement produce greater educational achievement. Religious involvement enhances individuals' social capital in the form of family and peer networks, which promote educational success. Before I go further, any thoughts?
Andrew, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I've got no thoughts on that. So they've just statistically found that the more religious you are, the smarter you are. Is that what that's saying?
Oh, it was higher capital. Religious involvement enhances individuals' social capital in the form of family and peer networks, which promote educational success.
So maybe they just have a good build-up community around them. Mm-hmm. They've got something they pray to, something that keeps them on the right line, something that makes them happy, as well as stated, a community. They've got their church and their family, and that just helps keep them, in a good mind space to just work and to get their work done and to be, very efficient and just work hard.
It plays a huge role. I think it's really nice to have people. Not everyone would like it, but some people really enjoy their church communities. And it's a very interesting little fact there. Anything to add, Mr. Scott, before we move on?
I don't really have much thoughts on that. It's just...
it's interesting, good to know. So the University of Texas sociologists have discovered in a study that US teenagers find that there is a positive influence on religious involvement on several key academic outcomes, such as obtaining a high school diploma. In the study, it further suggests that women raised as conservative Protestants, those attending more frequently at religious services during adolescence, completed one more year of schooling than their less observant peers. More facts, and I guess it's hard to apply that to ourselves, but for you guys, never really went to church apart from when you had to in Catholic school.
Yeah,
funerals,
weddings, and Catholic school.
So for yourselves, I mean, how would you describe the whole your educational journey? Do you think that if you were more involved in a church, anything would have changed? It's a very tough question. It's kind of pointless, but I think it's interesting if you have any thoughts that or maybe if I had a pastor that I liked or whatever, things could have been different. Any thoughts?
Different as in.
Like, would you,
Just-
if you, it could have been that you get better grades. It could have been that you enjoyed
Okay.
school more because maybe as a part of that school you were excited. You wanted to go to school because school brought you to church and there was a guy that you liked there. Do you feel like having that an extra community could have done any good?
It potentially could have, because of course there's a lot of history and this talk, following this and that. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just that's
No, yeah,
just
no,
my
no, I get what you're saying.
description
I-
of like religion and
Mhm.
all religions, not just
Mhm.
Catholicism or Christianity, Islam. Right. Yeah, I think. I guess there's a lot of academical aspects of following your religion,
Yeah.
because you got to read whatever text there is.
Yeah.
You're learning these things. Oh right, okay, this and that. So I definitely there's potentially something in that. Where I disagree is though, it's like if you're educated, you're educated. I don't think you need to be religious
Mhm.
to be educated. I think everyone is a hard worker. Maybe someone that genuinely maybe isn't seen as a hard worker, maybe being religious boosts.
Could.
But I think that you could put that into anything in life. Like I think
Yeah.
another person could boost you as a better guy and be more hard working.
It can, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you do stuff not for yourself, but for other people.
We've grown up in the UK as well, and those are US statistics, I believe. Yeah.
It does say Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. We happy
I
with
don't
it?
think I could have put that any better
Yeah.
myself. I believe that was put amazingly.
That was a nice little chat we had there, and going forward, we're going to talk about when religion enters politics. There are many disputes about this question, about separating religion from politics or not. Alistair Campbell, who infamously declared, "We don't do God." This statement reflected that the dear of God doing would compromise the secular sacred divide and bring the combined influence of God and faith into the public square. Faith, according to Campbell, is strictly a private affair, and God's services weren't required in a brave new secular world. Others would disagree with this notion and say that faith does indeed have a role to play in the decisions we make and the lives we live, both in the public as well as private. Tony Blair stated, "Accept the premise that faith is not in decline. It is still here with us, not just surviving, but thriving." A bit of politics in there, handing it over to the people.
Expert.
The other people. I was surprised Alistair Campbell was going to get referenced, but obviously it makes sense for this segment. I have to agree, and I think the Enlightenment's a good basis with this, because obviously round about the time of the Enlightenment, before I was the one, but it's all good. The main authority and power was the church. They dictate whatever says goes with the church. And if you argued against the teachings of the church, you'd be prosecuted and maybe even killed.
When was this?
The Enlightenment was like 18th century.
So, as youngs would say, time ago.
Time ago, indeed. So I believe that we win. No, I believe that we always need to keep on moving to a more progressive and modern way of thinking. And yes, religion can maybe have a role in that, but it shouldn't dictate decision making.
Before we conclude, any final thoughts?
Everyone just wants to win.
I believe that.
I believe that.
I think we
So-
all believe that.
Thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode. That was the third and final episode of Modern Divinity. I know that you all will be missing Max, but life is life. We hope to see you next time, if there is a next time, and
Do we do a special podcast episode at Max's funeral, do you think? Just for...
yeah, we might need to join in at Max's funeral.
You done it, sir. That's it.